And what, if any, role did you have to play with respect to, for example, witness statements and testifying?
Objection, compound.
I said, for example.
Overruled.
Role is in assisting your dad on that, and what isn't involved in breaking horses?
Objection, leading.
Can you just tell me about?
Overruled. Good.
I love it.
And when you worked with deaf kids, what, if anything, did you do to learn to be able to work with them?
Objection, leading, and 404. And relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Did you buy Mr. Depp any knives during that time period?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What, if anything, did you do to the filming of the Lone Ranger? What, if anything, did Mr. Depp do with respect to a horse?
Objection, leading.
What, if anything?
Overruled.
Went to my therapist. I told her
Objection, hearsay.
I'll sustain it as to what she may have told her.
I went home and a few.
Your Honor, we have an objection, and may we
Okay,
approach?
sure.
And did you confide in anyone about these issues you were having? I think she can
Objection,
say
hearsay.
I think she can say if she told anybody.
As long as she doesn't say what she said.
Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay.
You want to approach?
Yeah.
And when approximately did you start confiding in your mom about your issues with Mr. Depp and the physical abuse?
Objection, hearsay, compound.
I sustain as to compound.
Is the rage and the uncontrolled violence, the rage that this man had, and why it was
Objection,
pointed
Your
at
Honor,
me.
hearsay. May we approach, please?
Okay.
2013. I sent it to her because I had been texting about some of the craziness, and I
Objection, hearsay.
I'll sustain as to what she may have texted. All right, next question.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
Let's wait until we get to the spot. Just that picture that's on the text.
With no words?
Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it.
Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
If we redact the from 2 weeks ago, can we admit it then? And then just have the showing that she sent it to her mom
May
for
we
the
approach,
date?
Your Honor?
Okay, sure.
we walk in. Meanwhile, I've been bombarded by text messages and calls and conversations with everyone seemingly so stressed about.
Objection, hearsay.
And everyone smiles and says, hey, boss.
Objection, hearsay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's, Michelle, can we pull up
Your Honor, may we approach?
Sure.
that day?
I did. I sent it to my best friend at the time, and it was like, look at my morning.
Objection, hearsay.
Okay, you can't say what you said, but you sent it to your friend, correct? An email.
Objection, leading, and hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
Among many letters to myself.
Objection,
Because I
hearsay.
thought-
All she did was refer to that she wrote it. She isn't saying what she said.
I'll overrule for that.
Thank
point,
you.
Okay.
Seeing Jerry Judge, who gestured to my
Objection,
nose.
hearsay.
She's just saying gesture. He hasn't said anything yet.
All right. Gesture's fine. I'll overrule the objection.
And started to ask me questions about his drinking.
Objection, hearsay.
Without saying what Lily Rose was saying, please continue on.
Sustain the objection.
Thank you.
So she was asking me questions about the drinking, and was very upset.
Sustain the objection.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't say what Lily Rose said.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
you can tell gestures,
Sorry.
you can tell, and you can say what you and Mr. Depp said, okay?
Sorry, expressed to me that she
Objection,
was
hearsay.
upset.
As sustained.
You can't say what she said. You can tell expressions or observations, but you can't say what Lily Rose said.
So
Okay.
Lily Rose is crying, noticing but not really sure what to make of it.
Objection calls for speculation and hearsay.
She didn't say what they
I'll
said.
sustain as to the last
Okay.
part of the answer.
Did you reach out to
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay and leading.
And this is a communication between you and Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
That's correct.
Objection, hearsay.
Did you text your mother and your father about this incident?
Objection, hearsay.
If you want to,
What, if any, communication did you have with your mother or your father following this incident?
Objection, hearsay.
sustain that objection.
What, if any, communications did you have with Kate James following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, if we go to 224,
Okay. 224.
my argument would be business records exception.
All right, you want to come forward? We can do it.
Friends and family asked for support.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Mental condition.
All right.
It doesn't, it's still hearsay, Your Honor.
As a result of your discussions with Mr. Depp about moving in, did there come a time that you did move in with him?
Objection, leading. Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay.
Your Honor, I'm going to, let's pull up 188.
You know, I said, you know, Johnny, that like he's my co-star.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Don't tell us what the co-star said. Just tell us what your communication was with Mr. Depp.
Objection, hearsay. Her communications are hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
I'm not.
It was fine.
Objection,
that it was-
hearsay.
It was a threat that if I wanted to be,
Objection, speculation.
I think she can say what she understood it to mean.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
one day he didn't come home, and I was worried sick. I found out that he was in a hotel room with Paul
Objection,
Bettany.
hearsay.
Okay.
Came home. They had to carry him home.
Objection, hearsay.
Did you see them?
I
carry
watched
him?
it.
Okay. November 2013, did you have any contact with Lily Rose that led to any discussions with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What, if any, communications did you have with Lily Rose in November 2013?
Objection, calls your hearsay, leading.
I'm asking what her connection was. I didn't ask what she
I'm going to
said.
sustain the objection if you want.
Okay. November 2013, what, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose without saying anything she said?
Objection, hearsay.
It's interaction, Your Honor. I'm not asking for what she said. Was there a particular incident that led to a disagreement with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose that led to an argument with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
That, what, if any?
And Lily Rose, at some point, had a crush on a you know.
Objection, hearsay. And lack of foundation.
I'll overrule for them.
Thank you.
There were these moments that just felt so wonderful.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
To have dinner, Christmas dinner there with her around the time of her birthday as well. And my best friend said, you should
Objection,
really...
hearsay.
Sorry. Wasn't offered to prove the truth of the matter, but I'm going to take you into January, February 2014. You employed a woman named Kate James, is that correct?
Objection, leading.
and
What if
inconsistent. She drank on the job and stuff like that. And her behavior was pretty
Objection, relevance.
horrible.
She's already testified. Kate James has testified, and I think the bias. We can
All right, I'll allow
please
that.
describe for the
Thank
jury what job responsibilities Kate had and how you communicated with her and kind of how that worked.
Objection, compound.
And you know, if I found that if I said, Kate, you know, you left the car running with your doors open and your kids in the car on the street, you need to
Objection,
move it.
hearsay. Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay grounds. It's still hearsay. May we
Ms. Hurd,
approach?
did you, may I lay the foundation first? Ms. Hurd, did you communicate with Kate James by email in the ordinary course of your business?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at Defendants 209. Is this a communication that was between you and Kate James that was in the ordinary course of business with her as an employee?
Yes, it is.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendants Exhibit 209. Business records exception.
Still hearsay, Your Honor.
Business record exception gets the business record, but it's hearsay. If there's hearsay involved inside the business record, there's still objection to hearsay.
Your Honor, the business records exception, I mean, I don't agree. I think that's the point
If you
that
wanna-
hearsay
if you wanna
can.
approach.
What, if any, communications did you have with Kate James about your issues with Mr. Depp?
Objection hearsay.
Your Honor, Ms. James has testified.
I'll sustain the objection.
I'm sorry, if it hadn't been for your what?
If it hadn't been for my therapist's notes, which were
Okay.
taken at the time when I was talking to her about this and my conversations with
Objection
Johnny.
hearsay.
Okay.
I'll
We'll mo-
sustain the
we'll move
objection.
on.
At the time, sharing drugs with my dad.
Objection. Speculation. Lack of foundation.
How do you know that he was
My
sharing?
dad actually left with Johnny's security to go get more drugs from
Objection
West
calls for
Hollywood.
speculation.
How do you know that?
They told me.
Hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Could you please tell the jury what a Met Gala is and what's involved in that?
Objection compound.
I'll overrule that one.
Turned it around on him and said that exactly.
Objection hearsay.
All right.
It's context, Your Honor. This is
I'll
context.
sustain the objection.
At some point, and made a joke about it to my friend about how bad I looked compared to how. the red
Objection
carpet-
hearsay.
All right.
It wasn't offered to prove the truth of the matter,
Yes,
sir.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
I told him I'm not going to wear makeup in the thing. but-
Objection hearsay.
Apparently,
Ms. Bureau, if you could approach, please.
When I had any sort of scene like that, and I did tell him in this occasion.
Objection hearsay.
we need to stay with what Mr. Depp said, okay?
Okay, talking myself out of this or talking him down or any, a lot of my arguments and my involvement in them are me trying to diffuse by explaining or
Objection non-responsive.
She's telling the story, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection as part.
under their breath ask me, are you okay?
Objection hearsay.
I spent the rest of the time looking out
I'll
of the
sustain the
window.
objection.
Is that 5% part of me?
Objection non-responsive.
I don't think it's non-responsive. She's explaining what led up to her tape recording and why. I mean, I'll just, I can ask her, well, that's all.
What he had done, I knew he would not remember. And if
Calls for speculation.
She can say why she did it and what she thought.
But that last part called for speculation. I'll sustain
Don't
the objection.
say, I knew. Why did you tape record?
in my experience, when Johnny was that inebriated, he would not remember what he had done.
Calls for speculation.
How can that call for speculation?
I'll sustain the objection.
Your Honor,
And
may
if we
we
can-
approach, please?
Okay.
Your Honor, we're going to object on hearsay.
First line, Your Honor,
Okay.
is all I understand in Your Honor's ruling, but I think.
All right. If you want to come forward, that's fine.
You know, on the plane, I was so careful.
Objection, non-responsive.
Please just tell us what you did, and you can tell how you feel, but don't go backwards, okay? What, if any, communications did you have with Stephen Duders?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, let me ask it this way. What, if any, communications did you have with Mr. Duders communicating on behalf of Mr. Depp?
Objection, hearsay.
I would say agency on that, Your Honor.
You have to lay a foundation for that.
Okay. All right, let's go to 229. And what, if any, communication were you having with him following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay. May we approach?
All right, Ms. Moon?
I heard from him directly. I also heard from him through his assistants who were texting for him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the
You're
objection.
not allowed to testify about the text messages with his assistant, but can you tell the jury about your communications with Mr. Depp?
Okay. It's kind of confusing because he was texting through them.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll strike that from the record, and you'll just regard that
understand.
testimony. Please answer the question.
Just confine it to the communications you had with Mr. Depp, please.
To leave him, I actually thought that it kind of would be the turning point. I thought I had effectively.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Did you
Overruled.
draft any kind of email to Mr. Depp to express your emotions and how you felt about all this?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, let's go, I'll lay the
Okay.
foundation, Your Honor. Let's go to defendants 239.
239.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
And I would say both present sense impression and definitely state of mind, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right. Without saying anything about what's in the email.
That calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
To do the
Objection,
full
Your Honor,
details.
hearsay. And lack of foundation.
I don't understand what the objection, I don't think it is. I think she was just explaining the context there. I don't think she was saying
Well, we
what
could lay
somebody.
a foundation how she knew, but it's fine.
How did you know that?
I was involved in the conversations
Okay. Please
with the
continue.
doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
And
Your Honor,
nurse.
that's still hearsay.
I believe Kipper
Right,
came out
sustained.
too. And they put Johnny on a bunch of new medications, which they shared with me, told me about.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
But what I found out in that time is that he was taking about double the amount.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Was this
No, I
your
saw, I
observations?
saw it.
Okay, overruled.
Thank you. Please continue.
I was telling him these things, and I was at one point in our conversations, I told him about how
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Please try to
I'm
continue.
trying to
without
take
what
care
you
of
were
him,
saying.
and he was hallucinating. And
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Overruled.
hey, and I hadn't said anything. I would tell him, Johnny,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Well, I think in the context, Your Honor, it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted.
What's it for?
It's just telling the context of,
I'll sustain the
Yes, Your
objection.
Honor, to the first message. Excuse me, Your Honor, to the
You
second.
mean the response?
Right. Objection, form, compound.
I'll allow it, but just for trying to keep the record clear, 272 has already been entered into evidence without that redactions, and there wasn't any objection. So I would wish, if I could have both sides to keep track of their evidence. It's not my job to keep this.
thank you, Your Honor, and I just got a note to that effect, so.
Okay, so 272 is an evidence without, you can clear the redaction and publish it. It's really the party's responsibility to take care of the record, not mine.
My apologies on that one, Your Honor.
mostly male cast. But I bargained with him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
This time frame.
Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to object to the exhibit as hearsay.
We're auditioning.
Objection, Your Honor, compound.
They're all the
And
same
leading.
subset.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Your
He's
Honor,
fine.
hearsay.
That wasn't,
Overruled.
Tabs on me and report to Dr. Kipper, who reported everything to Johnny.
Objection, hearsay. Calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
okay,
She encouraged,
Objection, hearsay.
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, and we can,
Objection, hearsay.
okay.
It was awful at times, but I loved him and what he
Objection,
was
Your
saying.
Honor, non-responsive. Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
So I remember saying, you took
Objection,
all-
hearsay.
And I said, Johnny, that, or
Objection, hearsay.
trying to say that
Objection,
You know-
Your Honor, hearsay.
It was not for to prove the truth of the,
he was
Calls
drinking
for speculation and leading.
and she was trying to give me drugs to sedate
Objection,
me.
Your Honor, hearsay.
the pubic bone, is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Sustained.
Did the table collapse?
Yes, it did.
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Sustained.
Your Honor,
I had
fused. Is there a question?
Eric, you want to ask a question?
What more do you recall?
You had, sorry, it took me a minute to respond because
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
and so I recognize it. I am a,
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
I said, was
Objection, leading.
what, if any, changes were there to that